I'm, for the first time, thinking about what it would feel like to lose a daughter that way.
You're On the Edge with Andrew Gold, and that was true crime legend Amanda Knox. If you like interviews with the most controversial and extreme people, then you'll love On the Edge with Andrew Gold. Here's me talking to a real-life psychopath.
How would you feel if somebody just started strangling me?
Well, I did not feel connected to you, Andrew.
I take you inside cults such as extreme Islam.
I thought I was going to die out there.
Before we delve into the darkest minds.
Was there violence? Yes.
Find it wherever you get your podcasts. That's On the Edge with Andrew Gold.
We all enjoy a little mystery. Every other week, One Strange Thing presents forgotten stories from America's newspaper archives. They all have something in common, a single element that can't quite be explained. From cryptids and disappearances to modern-day miracles, One Strange Thing brings you stories that are very real and just a little otherworldly. Subscribe now, wherever you listen.
Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
And it is
the New Year.
Yes, it's the new year. It's 2023. I hope everybody had a really relaxing break. I hope they're enjoying the holiday season. I hope you enjoyed our live show episode that we just put up. Yeah, it's been...
I mean, that Tainted Love is going to live in my brain rent-free for the rest of my freaking life. I swear to God.
I'll be in a nursing home still talking about it.
I've had real moments where I'm like laying in bed and I'm thinking like, what would I ever do if we were going to do a live show again? Like, what would I do for a Tainted Love? I can't think of something that's like as bananas as that story.
Honestly, you've set the bar and it's going to be so hard to even come close.
Impossible.
To it. Yeah. That story is wild.
Yeah, truly. So if you want to see the video from that live show or the pictures that we talk about during that live show, that will all be up on our Patreon for you to peruse through. So our patrons have access to the video of the show and also the absolutely wild alien paintings. So join us over there.
Yes.
If you want to see those.
My coworkers that went to the show still come up to me and talk about that.
I love it. I'm so glad I could bring you and your coworkers together in the weirdest way possible.
The weirdest way.
Well, I know we talk about this every year, and I know, Cassie, you're not one for New Year's resolutions, but we do always bring it up every year, I think. So do we have any goals for if you don't want to call it a resolution, just like 2023 goals?
I'm keeping it simple this year. I've got a lot of stuff going on this year.
Yes,
I will be getting married.
No big
later
deal.
on. No big deal. MBD. This last year, 2022, was kind of the year of like finances for me and career. It was a very career and finance year. This is the year of health for me. I'm not making specific goals. I just find what I found last year that was so helpful was like I just kept that idea in the forefront of my mind, like career. And I was able to make a lot of stuff happen by not just making super, super granular like resolutions.
I like that.
But just by saying like this year on top of mind for me is health.
Well, it's like a mantra. If you just repeat that over and over, like this is important to me and this is something that I want to make a priority, it really does change things. I feel like I started doing that this year with my health and it became so much easier because I think in years past, I've always thought about like exercise or eating healthy and stuff like that as like a chore, as something I don't want to do and like really... And that really affects your ability to be able to sustain something whenever you're thinking about it in those terms. So when you can change your relationship with it and you like look forward to like this is going to make me feel good and I'm doing this for me. That mind shift really helped too, being like, this isn't a punishment. This is like something I'm doing because I love my body and I love myself and I appreciate myself.
That's a really good point. Yeah. I definitely have that punishment mindset about it. This kind of like, it's something you have to do.
It's hard.
Because,
yeah,
it's a chore or whatever. Yeah. I think for me this year, I love that idea, Christina. I think that there's so much pressure. I've said this every year, I don't like resolutions because it is that kind of weird, don't tell me what to do.
Right.
you know, I don't, not even myself. But I love the idea of like having something be like a kind of overarching goal. And I think that a theme, exactly. And I think that
we love a vibe.
We love a theme. Truly we do.
Love a theme. I think my theme for this year is just, still school. I'm kind of in that place where I'm like, I'm now going to be starting in a few days, going back to ASU. Like my first spring semester starts on the 9th. And so it's just, getting back in gear. I got that associates out of the way. She done.
Nice.
I know, it feels so good. Yeah. And then, so now it's just plugging forward to finish up my bachelor's and, just again, kind of, it's been more of like a personal goal. I don't know where it goes. School has been a funny thing for me on many levels of just being like, do I think I'm going to be like some kind of art historian when this is all over with? Anthropologist, not necessarily, but I do think that I don't want a degree to be the thing that that holds me back anymore. And I don't know that it has been. I don't know that it's been the thing that's not gotten me jobs before, but I just know I don't want it to ever feel like that's the thing that it is.
I do feel like so much of it is mental, and that's not to diminish anything or like, that's not to diminish your goals or what you need or you want. And I'm so proud of you for like moving forward with your goals and doing that. But just for anybody listening, I don't think necessarily that like the degree, it's about more than a degree, right? For you, it's not just about like the degree. It's about a mentality that you have around it and something that you want to do specifically for you to make yourself feel a certain way, like, moving forward and to have that knowledge. And you also are just someone who really loves learning. Like you just love to learn, I do.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely piggyback on that, Keegan, is that like I definitely don't want to project the fact that like a college degree is a certificate of smartness or anything like that.
Holding you back necessarily.
But then I also like Cassie and I have talked, you guys, her and I have worked in like service industry jobs where a lot of times we're looked down on or not being seen as not intelligent because of those jobs. And I can definitely like understand Cassie, you wanting to hold up this piece of paper and be like, F you.
Well, no,
like,
actually,
listen, you don't have to tell me. I not only don't have a college degree, I was homeschooled the last several years of my last several years of high school. So the way
I don't
that
have a degree
the way that people act like if you were homeschooled that you didn't go to school or you're stupid. Like I've had that all my life, and like in getting jobs is more difficult because you have to explain all of that stuff in addition to not having a college degree. So trust me, I know that like this world can make you feel less than for all number of things, and school and education, in quotes, formal education is definitely one of those things, but it's not a reflection on your like Cassie, I think you were just as smart before.
Yeah, Cassie was smart before.
Yeah, you have a certain knowledge now.
Now I'm dumber, actually.
Yeah, you have a certain knowledge now that I think is really cool and really valuable, and I'm so happy you're doing that for yourself. But I want you to know that to me, you were just as smart. Well,
thank you. Yeah. Well, thank you. I think that you guys make such a great point. And I think that I think all three of us are very successful people in the careers that we've built for ourselves. And we did that I am just as successful or more, if not more successful than almost anybody that I went to high school with and did all of that without a degree. Yeah. So I will 100% say that, in many cases, a degree is a piece of paper. I mean, I'm also not going to school to become like a, biologist or a, chemical engineer. Right. So, I mean, I understand that there's something that's, but to be fair, you can be absolutely successful if you put your mind to whatever you are interested in. So, yeah, I don't think a degree equates necessarily to success, but you're absolutely right about me personally. I do enjoy learning. I've enjoyed the journey. I think if I didn't, I would have stopped probably once I finished my associate's degree and just been like, she done.
Right. I mean, and finishing is important to you. And like, you don't have, I only bring this up because our, platform, we're talking to a lot of people and I want them to understand that like, we don't make those equations, but you don't have to explain yourself really in terms of what you want for yourself and why you want it. Like you want to get this degree, you want to complete this thing. And like, I think that's really awesome and admirable that you've been able to balance doing all of that stuff. So that's really cool.
Yep.
For me in 2023, I think like my theme is just going to be listening to myself. Because I feel like I've spent so much time like molding myself around what other people like want or expect from me for my whole life. And I actually think it's been to my detriment in a lot of cases. And so I'm really making strides and I'm working on it now to get myself into a place where I can be really true to living an authentic life for myself. And I think that will make me an all over like better person to be around, like better friend and like better for me as well. So that's the goal. It's a very loose kind of vague.
But see that's really good though, because so many things can fit into that category. And what I was finding was when I was making like a list, like say health, for instance, I was going about the New Year's resolutions on being like, okay, number 1, exercise more. Number 2, eat less, eat better. Number 3, I'm going to only limit my alcohol intake to these days and the stuff. So it's like so like regimented. Whereas like if you change or flip your mindset to being more like, I'm just going to keep health top of mind this year, you don't feel like you're telling yourself what to do. Which, we all kind of have that like resistance. But then it's just like, you don't also feel like you're letting yourself down if you're taking the baby steps into making better choices. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and there's also been scientific studies I listened to earlier this year, which was really helpful for me in like moderating my alcohol intake, was This Naked Mind. I think I talked about it on the podcast. And I think you've listened to it too, Christina, or read it.
Yep.
But they talk about in that audiobook, she talks about how there have been studies then that like willpower is a finite resource. Like so if you are putting, like when you're talking about New Year's resolutions, like if you are putting like so many limitations on yourself and you're saying, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to work out 5 days a week and also eat only this many calories and only drink on these days a week, like you are almost always going to fall short because your willpower can only focus on so many things at a time. And like you will struggle to do that many things at once, So that is partially why I think New Year's resolutions can fail if you're trying to do too many things at once. We're not wired to make making a ton of big changes all at once is really hard.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's all a journey. And like I said, that's what I kept top of mind last year was all about like career. And I was able to do a lot of little things during the year in order to make some big moves and, little things like teaching myself more about the position that I was in, et cetera, so that when I add it all up, it actually adds up to like a lot of those little goals.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel under pressure because it was just setting my mindset for for the year.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. What a wonderful conversation to start our year off.
Love it. Good opener.
It also, we would be remiss. I feel like at this point, we're just like a Nick Cannon reporting podcast. So one of Nick Cannon's New Year's resolution might be, so people wrote an article, and I found this interesting and worth bringing up because we've had this conversation every time we're like, oh, he's having another baby. We're like, how can he possibly be spending, because, you know, they're all in different households. So we're like, how is he giving enough of himself to all of these kids? And it turns out he also feels like he's not giving enough of himself to all of these children. So he said in an interview that he feels guilty about not spending enough time with his children. Like right now, he is the father of 11. He has a 12th child on the way. And he says, like, this is my biggest guilt is that, like, 'cause he is still working. It's not like he's like even
he's gonna have to,
right?
You know how much child support is?
Yes.
Goddamn, he better have a job,
right? But
that
it's
many
just like,
damn kids to feed.
It would be enough if you had 12 kids at home, like all in one place. But it's like you are going to work, and your work involves a lot of travel, a lot of being away from your family already. And then in that time when you do have to be with your family, you are making it. Like how many households you're having to try and get to. And so
goodness.
I thought that was
to build like a
interesting.
complex, like a palace for
a compound. Yeah. I thought that was interesting though, that like, this is something we brought up and I've never heard him talk about it. And it's like, yeah, like at the end of the day, as long as your kids are loved and taken care of, like you do you, but it is worth saying that like, you can't possibly, like you're spreading yourself very, very thin to try and
It makes me feel a little bit better that he is acknowledging that.
Yeah.
It's something that he needs to work on, and that is top of mind for him. That is actually, I think, good news, you know?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's not, it seems like he does actually care about it. Whether or not he's actually able to accomplish it is a different conversation, but at least he cares about being a good dad, you know, trying to be a good dad. Yeah. But
well, I think for 2023, our first fuck, marry, kill going into the year, we did the resolutions. I kind of am in a predictions kind of mood.
Ooh.
So maybe think about it, and we might have to cut around it here as we kind of brainstorm on this. Who do you think is going to be your crush or be hot for 2023?
I feel like we did the same thing last year of like,
did we really?
Yeah,
and I love it. But I love it.
I love it too. It's a good theme to carry on for this year. Ooh, is there someone new?
Who's gonna be the new our new It's guy for this year? I'm thinking about like what movies are coming out this year.
I think I know. Okay, for me.
Okay.
And you know, this is just like a broad crush, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something about Emma Corrin. They played young Diana in the early seasons of The Crown. Right. And there is something about their presence both on the red carpet and when they're doing interviews and stuff like that that I just really love, and they are going to be hot next year, I think, because like Lady Chatterley's Lover came out. Like they're in so many things, or they're on the horizon to be in so many things. So I'm gonna go with them. Yeah,
I'm interested to see this Lady Chatterley's Lover.
Me too. I'm like interested
because it got really.
It's supposed to be spicy.
Exactly. Like, so I want to see it. I'm very interested in it. There's just something about them that is so like intriguing to me. Emma Corrin is intriguing to me. I can't say for sure if they'll be a crush, but there's just something about them that is like, maybe.
I don't know. That guy is hot too. Jack O'Connell.
Oh, wait, from The Crown?
No, from Lady Chatterley's Lover.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. His name's Jack O'Connell, and he's hot. He could be my lover. Call me Lady Chatterley.
Oh yeah, he is hot. Yeah,
right.
I need to think of who I'm going to bestow my heart upon for 2023. Who's a new it celeb who will blow up.
Or maybe make a reappearance, right?
A resurgence, a renaissance.
Oh, that's true.
A renaissance.
Well, you know who is going to make a renaissance or a resurgence? Brendan Fraser. I saw the trailer for The Whale.
I'm into it.
My heart. He just looks like he put his heart and soul in that performance, truly.
Yeah, I don't think it's something I want to watch. Just because it looks incredibly sad.
It's Darren Aronofsky, so yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be sad and weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of his go-to.
Yeah.
You know who I think needs to get bigger than they are? I'm going to bestow my eye on Kirby Howell-Baptiste.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. Yes.
I don't know who that is.
I love her.
Yes, she played Death in Sandman.
Oh,
she was
right.
also amazing in The Good Place. And I just feel like any moment now she can break through, and I want more from her because I just find her incredibly captivating to watch.
She's stunning as well. Early on, her career has already, kind of moved at a very quick pace, because Cassie, years ago, like pre-Pandy, she was on Daily Zeitgeist. She was a Daily Zeitgeist guest, and like she's just continued to just climbing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's also been in Barry. She was in Cruella.
Yeah, she's stunning.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
She's got a British accent. It's like, mwah.
Yeah. I love watching her. So yeah, I think that's who I'm going to predict will have a great 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I am torn.
What are your options here?
Well, I was just going through like movies that are going to be coming out. I know that Barbie's coming out, which people are like really like kind of talking a lot about.
The trailer looks amazing.
It
It kind of does, and which kind of makes me kind of look at Ryan Gosling as an option, only because
a comeback.
He's kind of been a quiet,
True.
I would consider going to have a crush on him again.
I'm willing to go down the Hey Girl path again. Do you remember all the Hey Girl memes?
So cute.
I'm ready. I'll do it again. I'm open to it.
I'm willing to fall again. I'm doing it. Fuck it. Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
Ryan Gosling.
We're having a resurgence of the goss.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Let's go. I'm a fan.
A Ryan-assance.
Oh, yeah, a Ryan-assance. That's right. So, okay, Ryan Gosling, who was like everybody's crush in like 2012. Jesus.
And then not.
And then
like,
not.
He hasn't been my crush for like a really long time.
Well, he got married and just like was like deuces. Like he didn't do anything for like a long time, just being a dad.
Crazy Stupid Love. Wasn't that the one he was in?
Yeah, but that was back in like 2012 as well. Like,
that was such a good movie.
Ago.
Yeah, it was so long ago.
Movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, forever ago.
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay.
Could be a Ryan-assance.
Ryan Gosling, Emma Corbin, and Kirby Howell-Baptiste.
I gotta look up Kirby because I know you just explained, but I cannot picture her for some reason.
I would say she's truly stunning to look at. Like I think that she's like stunning. A work of art. Okay, this is actually a really nice batch. I love this batch of people. Yeah.
Okay, Emma Corrin. Man, they're so talented, so young. What are they going to be doing, like, upcoming in 2023?
So I know they're Lady Chatterley's Lover. Let me look up because...
Looks hot. I'm in.
Oh, My Policeman, which is on my list of... That's out already, but that's on my list of books to read. Harry Styles is in that. I heard the book is incredible. So that's on my list of books to read next year. So those are kind of the two big ones that are coming up or out currently.
I think I know what I'm going to do.
All right, you go first.
Okay. I'm going to marry Kirby Howell-Baptiste.
Yeah.
She is lively, intelligent, fun, charismatic. I mean, just like her personality, I feel like she can pull me a little bit out of my shell. Yeah. And that she's just outgoing and fun. And I feel like she would be a good balance for my serious side.
Yeah.
I feel like too, like I would feel intellectually stimulated by her. So
she does give that vibe.
Yeah. So I'm going for that as my marriage. I am going to see, but then like, who do you fuck?
It's tough.
It is tough because I've always felt, and the reason why Ryan Gosling dropped off my list is because it seems like he wouldn't be that fun in the sack.
Oh God. You're like, you seem boring.
He does, doesn't he?
There. Now that you say it, I never really thought that. But now that you say that, I am a little like,
yeah.
But
the vibe is missionary.
But I have to say this: he is a Scorpio.
Oh,
so
no, you're good. You're good.
He'd be sneaky, like
he's
shit
a short king
come
though.
Out.
Christina, he's a short king.
I don't
he's
mind
only
that.
Like 5'6".
I don't mind a short king. That's fine with me.
No, he's not 5'6".
That does change things because oh man,
yeah, he's a Scorpio, and Emma Corrin is a Capricorn.
Oh yeah,
okay,
no,
that tracks. I like that.
You can't have a Capricorn energy.
No, not in bed. It's not anywhere actually. that's not that's not hot. That's not hot.
Hold on. Wait. Or are they a Sagittarius? December 13th.
Oh, that's Sag.
Sag. Okay, so they're a Sag. Just kidding. So Emma Corrin is a Sag, and Ryan Gosling is a Scorpio.
I'm gonna fuck the Scorpio.
Yeah, I have to say,
good call.
Pisces and Scorpio get along really well. Like, I really love Scorpios. I just do. So I'm like, oh, I love that.
Now I gotta see what Kirby Howell-Baptiste is.
I tried and I couldn't find her birthday, so I don't know.
I think I know what I'm gonna do for sure.
Okay, what are you gonna do?
I think I'm gonna marry fucking Ryan Gosling, and here's why.
It's loyal.
Because I feel like he doesn't take himself. It looks very much like in this Barbie movie, like with him playing Ken, the way he's not taking himself seriously anymore. Where I think that's why I see a Ryan Renaissance, because I think that's kind of who he was. And by taking this role, I think we're going to be able to hopefully see him in a different light. You know, where he's kind of a little bit more like a Channing Tatum type of guy who is like, maybe laughing at himself a little bit and not too serious.
I love it.
So
okay. Yeah.
I think that I like that. I like that kind of energy.
And I do think he's loyal. It's like he got with Eva Mendes and it was like, we're done. Like, we're done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're still together, right? Yeah.
I wish anyone would do with Eva Mendes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Honestly.
She's beautiful.
100.
Yeah.
Kirby Howell-Baptiste is an Aquarius.
Oh,
February
God.
7th.
That's why you want to be with her, because she's going to go down weird pathways with you. You're going to you're going to be like aliens. You know what I mean?
And she'll be like, let's talk for hours about it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Aquarians are fun.
Aquarians are fun. I think that, oh man, that makes it really difficult. But I think that if I'm just talking just fuck, I think I'm going to do Emma.
Yeah.
Because Fire and Fire is going to be, it's going to be a wild night. It's going to be a wild night. Yeah. And I guess maybe I just don't know Kirby as well. Fucking
enough.
Stunning.
Yeah, stunning.
Beautiful.
I feel like Emma and you, Cassie, you're gonna have like you are gonna have drinks, and then it's going to like build increasingly. It's gonna get louder and louder, because Emma is someone who's got like opinions. You know, when you watch like
oh my God,
interviews, and
we're gonna be
like that. Yeah, and you love a Sag. Yeah,
I do love a Sag. I got to be honest. It might be the Sag that pushed me. I will tell you, I'm actually concerned now that it would make more sense to marry Kirby and not Ryan Gosling, only because of that Scorpio. I mean, like,
it's very hit or miss with you with Scorpios in my experience. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I have to, this is nothing against Scorpio. My very first and best friend in life was, I mean, she still is a Scorpio, but it's a tough path for me and male Scorpios for sure. I think I'm gonna do the right thing for my life. I'm gonna make good decisions.
Yeah, 2023. We're making good decisions.
We're gonna make good decisions.
Right.
I'm going Kirby.
Okay,
it's the right decision.
I actually love that.
Yeah.
I think that
I like that better.
Yeah, I think that Kirby is really going to like, and fire and air, great together. And I think that she's going to feed you. Air feeds fire.
Aquarius. That's right.
This is tough because I think of the three, and I think that Emma and Ryan are both insanely attractive people. They're like above average attractive, obviously. I think Kirby is actually the best looking of the three of them to me. Like, I just think that she is so stunning.
Yeah.
However, I just feel like I have to go with my instincts here. Okay. I am going to marry Ryan Gosling. I think that Pisces,
2 water signs, no decisions will ever be made.
But Pisces and Scorpio, we love each other. I think that and he's loyal. I just like him. I just think that he seems likable. I've always thought he was likable, even when he was at the height of his super hotness, major fame. Everyone has a crush on Ryan Gosling. Thing, I still think he remained
humble.
He remained pretty down to earth throughout that to me from the outside looking in, and I've had a crush on him. I've had a crush on him since Remember the Titans. Okay.
Wow.
Deep cut when he's doing that. And he's like, they're going to put me in the movies. He's so cute. So yeah, I'm going to fulfill my childhood dreams and marry Ryan Gosling. I'm going to fuck Emma Corrin. There is just something that I'm like, it is going to be spicy. That situation is going to, it's going to escalate. It is going to get loud. We're going to have, there's going to be shots, I feel like, for some reason.
There's definitely going to be shots with the Sagittarius. Of course there are. It goes without question.
Yeah. And it's going to be one of those things where you wake up the next morning in their bed and you're like, what happened? But in a good way, not in in a good way, in a whoa, that was a wild night kind of way. So I'm gonna do that. And I love Kirby. I want her to be so successful in 2023. Absolutely stunningly gorgeous. But
nice. Oh, well, that's the way to kick off the year.
Yeah.
Cheers, right?
Yeah. Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Sounds good.
Cool. And we're back. All right, Cass, kick us off with stories.
Okay. We got this story to our inbox. All right. So, story says, love listening to you all. Back in 2015, I was talking to this guy for about 2 months. We were not dating we were more like fuck buddies. I'm like, girl, been there, done that. Same thing. Yep. And I'm like, the number of times I'm just like, oh, I've been dating somebody, but I'm like, what I mean is we were fucking. Yeah.
Were you dating?
He invited me over to his house and I went. He said, are you hungry? Want pizza? I was like, yeah. He was like, okay. And then opens a drawer in his nightstand that is full of coins. And he asks me to help him count. I was not about to do all that and offered to just pay with cash.
Listen, you should have gotten your ass to a Coinstar before calling me over here. Why did you not do the prep work on the front end? Look, we all go through hard times. I'm not even judging. So often people don't use change, and I'm like, it is actual money. You should use it. But so no judgment that you have a jar of coins, but you have to do the work. It sounds like
just a drawer of a loose change, though.
Just a loose.
And it's in a drawer of other shit, right?
Yeah, so exactly. It'll be like a paper clip and
fish it out. When you're trying to pick up have you ever tried to pick up a quarter and you just can't get it?
Yes. Oh my God.
What is this sticking to?
Ew. And she's, legit, she's like, never mind. I'm not going to be counting fucking quarters with you to pay for this. So she's like, I'll just pay with cash. So I gave him the money. We were talking for a while and the pizza delivery came. He went to collect the pizza. He comes back into the room with 2 slices of pizza, one for me and one for him, and a cup of juice.
A cup
he was like,
of juice.
Thank you. He was like, my stepmom is upstairs and she's sad. So I gave her the rest.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Why didn't you give your stepmom 2 pieces of pizza?
Thank you.
And take the rest of the pizza?
Right. That's not how it works.
To us.
How fucking
like,
hungry
what?
is she if she's sad?
And I bought the pizza. Thank
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Therefore, I am entitled to majority of said pizza.
Yeah. How about I get to take the pizza home? I get to decide, and I would, that your stepmom can have a piece or 2, but I get to decide. It's my pizza.
I'm going to have you go back, turn around, get back upstairs, and grab me that pizza.
What? And one cup of juice.
Cup of juice.
Are we
juice.
8 years old? A cup of juice.
Are you is it your babysitter?
You gotta stop it. Yeah. No.
Oh.
With pizza, that's so like acidic too. It's like people.
Oh God.
Do you know what weirds me
the
out?
Heartburn.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
When people drink milk?
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It is weird. I haven't had a cup of milk. My grandma used to make us drink milk with dinner. I remember vividly.
And I hate milk.
It was like spaghetti. Like she'd feed us spaghetti and then be like, and give us milk to drink and be like, you have to. It was those little plastic cups. And she's like, you have to drink your like cup of milk because it's good for your bones, was always what they told us. Like,
it was
not
huge.
true, actually.
The marketing campaign around milk, like when we were little,
does the body good.
Yep. It was. So we all had to drink milk for grown, but people that continue, grown ass people,
it's
that
weird.
Continue to drink just raw dog milk.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It is fucking raw dogs and milk. It is so fucking weird. I am with you on that. Like, I look, to each their own. I'm not trying to be like super judgmental, but I am. If I sat down, if I was dating someone new and I came to your house and I saw you pour yourself a glass of cold milk and drink it.
And you're not eating like hot wings or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like really something super spicy that you're like, milk just to,
to
cut
douse
the edge.
it. Right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But nope.
Right. Because that makes sense for that.
If you drink milk for enjoyment, I'm like, look, if you do it and you're listening to this podcast and you're feeling very judged, please write in. Because I need to know like what is it
and
about it.
As a former milk lover, who would literally drink it out of the gallon, as like a teenager. As a teenager, I was just like, I don't know why, but I fucking loved milk. And I'm like, it turns out it hates me. So,
true. Yeah, you are lactose intolerant. Yeah, I mean, and also, look, we all have our weird things. Cassie punches apples because she likes a soft apple.
I can't. We're going to go into 2023 with a fresh slate without nonsense.
We don't need to bring up the apple punch.
There's no reason to bring up No Nut November anymore. Okay, guys? I get it. I'm weird.
No, we can bring up puss instead. That's fine.
It will never not be funny. I swear to God.
Oh my God. All right. Okay. So back to the story. I was upset because I was starving, but I did my best to not seem to be bothered by it. That's a real young 20s vibe right there.
I would be so mad too, because there's so much shame around being mad about food. But like, I have definitely been mad about food before where I'm like, you can't show them that you're like really pissed off about this thing.
You come home and you're so excited to eat that one thing and then it's like gone because they've eaten it and you're like, I hate your guts.
I've never been more upset with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, truly.
Yep.
The way that we all know that Cassie don't share food and 2023 ain't going to be the year for it.
No different. You don't have you have limited willpower. It's not the time to also add on sharing food. You can't do
That's exactly right. This isn't the year. That's not on my list of things that I'm going to be working on this year. Mm-hmm. Got it. So we ate and then we ate like one
piece of pizza.
Done. Yeah. We ate and then started to get intimate, missionary to be specific.
Oh, great.
During the act, he whispers in my ear, "Can you lick my asshole?"
Wait, while you're in missionary?
Yes.
Oh, God.
It's not even convenient.
It's not convenient. So, yeah.
And I said no, because I'm not really into the butt stuff at all. I know some people like that, but it's not for me. He said, okay. And after 2 more strokes, he proceeded to turn around and try to stick his ass in my face. Before he got too close, I pushed him away. When I did that, he turned around to face me quickly and cum shot out of his dick straight at my eyes.
Okay. This is the second week in a row.
Yes.
You cannot do that. Like, you have to give consent to have cum in your face. Like, you cannot. That's not okay. It's not okay. Also, putting your asshole in someone else's face when they told you they're not into it. Also, that's cool. Like,
not cool, dude. Not cool.
All.
Missing my eyes by just a centimeter.
If I got, do you know how fucking mad I would be if I got cum in my eyes?
Furious.
So mad.
Furious. Especially without you have said, first of all, without us having set the tone.
Because
if it's an accident and we agreed upon it, that's one thing.
If we agreed upon it and it accidentally got in there, then like I'm not going to be mad about that. Like, that was an accident. But like, I didn't agree to this, and now it's in my. Now I've got like eye irritation for the next like 48 hours. No.
Now you got pink eye. Good for you.
No, and you gotta even when you're going to do it, you have the come on my face that you put on. Because that's exactly right, Cassie. The lips are squeezed tight and the eyes are just
shut. And you tilt up. You tilt
and
up.
You tilt up.
Your eyes are further back, right?
Oh God.
We all know.
You also don't want it in your hair. You also don't want it in your hair. So you're also like, for me, I bang. So I'm like, oh,
bangs.
You're
holding your bangs back.
That's the come
So
on
we've
my
all been
face
there. Okay, great.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, of course.
My whole cheek was covered in cum all the way up to the corner of my eye, and I just laid there on my back in complete shock. The whole room was silent. What would you ladies do?
That's the end of it.
Yeah.
What would I do?
No.
Oh my God. I would first demand a washcloth.
Yeah, a clean
fresh one.
Do not pick up your shit off the floor. I swear to God, you pick up your lice-filled pillowcase off the floor and hand that to me. I'm gonna be so mad.
No, you go to the bathroom where hopefully you have one clean washcloth. I almost said wash.
It's really asking a lot. Some people do
warm water is what you were about to say. Warm water.
In fact, I don't want
be
you to
coming
go
back with some cold ass corner of a fucking wet rag.
Yeah, I don't trust you. Like, I'm like, if you go into your bathroom, please don't just pull like the hand towel or something. Like, it's going on my face. Like, please keep in mind.
Here's what I would do. I'm taking my hand, wiping that shit off, and flinging it on you, and then I'm walking the fuck out of your fucking house.
That's awesome.
That's
the Cassie, right? That's the fucking Aries in me who ain't fucking around at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you
gross.
do definitely get up and leave because the date is over. Like, we're done.
Yeah.
Like, it's so disrespectful, I feel like, to do something. Like, again, we just talked about this, but you have to have communication about that. Like, some people really don't like having cum on their face. Like, they really don't like it. And like, they should have the right to be like, no, thank you. Like, please do it somewhere else.
No, and there's, you block that person. They have no respect for you or your consent. You know what I mean? Like, he asked for something, she said no, and then it feels vindictive that he got back at her that way, which is really a fucking red flag. Mm-hmm. And I don't like it.
Yeah, same. Ugh. Thanks for writing in.
Oh my God.
That's like you said, that's 2 cum shots in a week. We're starting to trend here.
So transparency for the listeners, because of the holidays, we are recording this episode and then the last, not the live show episode, but the one we did before that, at the same time. So we've had two listener stories that are non-consent cum shot stories,
and we're a big no on that.
We're a hard pass.
Capital letters.
Yeah.
Okay. I have this story. I think that once you hear it, you'll understand why I enjoy it so much. Okay. I was divorced and really not looking for a date. I was too involved in my kids, my job, etc. But one day in the supermarket, a guy asked me what a certain type of vegetable was and how to use it. It was bok choy. We struck up a conversation. Henceforward, he was known to me as Bok Choy Dave.
Okay. I have to say this. Did you ever hear in the 90s, I feel like it was a real thing where people would talk about, like, if you're single, go to grocery stores. Like, that's where you meet people.
Yes.
Is that for real?
Don't talk to me in the grocery store.
That's how I feel. I'm on a mission. The last thing I want to do is tell you how to use bok choy.
Goblin.
No.
I'm fucking busy too. I'm just like, I'm here to get shit done and get out of here.
Exactly. Amen.
I'm not in conversation mode. So yeah. Anyways, he was military, divorced, and had custody of a teenage daughter. Yes, I had given him my email and we had started talking, in quotes, every week or so.
I fucking love that she did the email. She's like, no, not the phone number. Like, I don't trust Bok Choy Dan enough to give him my phone number. Here's my email address.
We had a lot in common: teen daughters, financial issues, new to dating, yada yada, and we started meeting every so often to walk the 2-mile pedestrian path across the Hudson River and back. It was a very casual friendship. After a few months of this, I felt comfortable enough with him to extend an invitation to dinner at my house. This is where things got weird. He called to tell me he would be a bit late as he had an important meeting. Okay, no problem. He also mentioned that he was bringing a video for us to watch.
Oh no! Oh no!
Christ.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh
Dan.
No! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Red flag goes up. He arrives dressed in a suit and tie, video in hand. I pour some wine and finish dinner prep. He asks to use the bathroom, so I show him where it is, and he is gone a long time.
No.
He's cleaning his battery.
Ladies.
No.
When he comes back into the living room, he is soaking wet and holding his sodden shoes and socks in his hands.
So, what?
He immediately asks me, "Why is your shower control set to the on position? I just wanted the bath water, but the shower came on instead and I got wet."
Why were you in my bathtub? Why were you in my shower?
What?
I don't why would you come at me like I did something wrong? Like something's wrong with my shower.
In my fucking house.
In my house.
So you're telling me you wanted just the bath water. You stepped into the tub, turned on the water, expecting it to just be bath water in your shoes and what is going on?
Why did you want the bath water in your
Exactly.
I have a million questions.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
So, okay, I didn't know he was going to take a bath in his clothes while dinner was waiting. Red flags are now waving. So we have dinner and let the jacket, tie, socks, and shoes dry near the warm oven. He fortunately kept the rest of his wet garments on. So he literally, like, it came on and he just was like in the shower.
Why wouldn't you turn it on? I have so many questions. How did he get that wet?
Questions.
How did he get that wet? Because like if that happened, would you not immediately turn it off?
Yep.
Right.
It happened to me when we were at a photo shoot one time. I had to step in and if you go too far one way, it was the shower. I was like, oh shit. And it like immediately turned off, but I was a little wet, but I wasn't fucking soaked.
No, you have to be in it to get that wet.
Sir, I have a number of
million questions. Okay, so we have dinner and we're letting the clothes dry. I put a towel over his seat cushion. Red flags have turned into the Red Sea. Now it's time to watch the video.
Oh my God, no.
Oh,
the video is long and it's all about rainbow vacuum cleaners.
I'm sorry, what?
Is this an MLM? Is he trying to sell her a vacuum cleaner? What?
He's trying to sell her a freaking
Shut
vacuum cleaner.
Up. I'm so fucking confused right now.
No.
You gotta stop it.
Why was he needed? Wait.
The water's still a mystery. No idea.
Thank
But like
you.
maybe he's in a suit because like this is a pitch.
Yeah.
I have a million questions. I hate this.
I just started laughing that he sulked, got his video out and his wet clothes and just left.
Why would you think this would have gone well? Like, why?
I never found out exactly what he was doing in the bathtub, but he obviously did not use the shower curtain, so I had a flood in my bathroom to clean up.
What in the fuck is happening?
You can't make
didn't
this
even
stuff
clean up his mess.
No. Thinking back on this, I can't help but laugh. And so I'm like, there is now another person in the world with a wet guy mystery.
Wet guy mystery. You're absolutely
wet guy
right.
Mystery.
Wow.
Why
God.
did he get in the bath? In his
I don't know.
clothes?
I am so fucking... That story...
It's going to live with
That
me.
needs to go on Unsolved Mysteries, actually.
I know. we need Bobby Stack to weigh in on this wet guy mystery.
Truly. God, so weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, although I feel like I'm pretty non-confrontational, but I really do feel like I wouldn't be able to resist asking him, like, my guy, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You gotta,
Why did you get
like,
in my bath?
why were you in my bathtub?
Maybe he had, the only thing I could think of was like, maybe he noticed he had like something on his shoe or something. But then wouldn't you take off
the
your
shoe off, use the sink.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't understand that aspect. I cannot come up for a reason of
Nothing
why
makes sense here.
that
and
happened.
also, if that happened to me and it was because of my shoe, you better believe the first thing I'm saying when I get out there is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I had something on my shoe and I wasn't thinking. I like got in the bath." Like, what? Explain yourself, Dan.
No, he came out guns blazing.
Yelling at
Why's your
me?
shower set this way?
Oh my God, that really would have triggered me to probably kick him out of my house. I'm like, you're yelling at me. That's no.
And then he left your bathroom like that.
Honestly, fuck you.
And then you wanted me to buy a vacuum after all of that? No.
I mean, if it was a shop vac wet, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that was part of the demonstration
Yes.
we didn't get to.
Oh, no.
He pulls out his shop vac. He's like, let me show you.
Oh, no.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Driving back after a lovely meal at a Chinese restaurant, we pulled into a quiet spot on a country lane in Aldworth. Suddenly, I felt my meal drop from my stomach to bowel in one lurch.
Oh.
I knew I couldn't hold it. I also
where this ends up.
couldn't exactly say I needed to find a toilet, so I pretended I'd been bitten on the bottom by a wasp and leapt out of the car, just managing to squat down by the rear bumper. He's like, my ass has been bit by I have an ass wasp sting.
Anybody ever said that, I'd be like, what are you?
Also, how did it
wasp?
happen? Like, I'm in the car with you. What do you mean? Like, where did this wasp come from? How did it get in your pants? Like, I'm so confused. Okay. As I relieved myself, I badly attempted to disguise the sound with sudden coughing bouts.
Oh my God. No.
I could hear my date asking from inside the car if I was all right whilst I scrambled about for anything I could find to clean myself up with, all the time providing a running commentary to my date about my bite and insisting she stay in the car as there were more wasps.
No, ma'am.
Wait.
No.
She's like, there's so many wasps out here. I need you to stay in the car.
Save yourself.
And the floor is lava. The floor is lava. And there's
Do not get out of that car.
Eventually, satisfied I'd managed to control the situation, I stood up, pulled up my jeans, and sat back in the car, immediately
That's
realizing...
without a wipe, too. You just fucking know it.
What?
That's without a wipe, too.
What
You're
could he
gonna
have
smell.
used?
You're
What
gonna
could he
smell.
have used? Like, dude, we've all been in that situation. You know, like, there's an amount of toilet paper that's necessary to manage a situation of this magnitude. Like, you cannot... There's no shaking
It's not
it
on the
off,
side of the road.
okay? Like...
Yeah,
No.
you can't, shaking it off. You can't use like gravel.
No, grass.
Roadside
You can't
gravel.
just rub your ass against
boot
grass
scoop.
like a dog.
Yeah, like a dog.
No, you're fucked. You're just totally fucked. Eventually, satisfied I'd managed to control the situation, I stood up, pulled up my jeans, and sat back in the car, immediately realizing my nightmare wasn't over and was about to get worse. The back of my jeans were covered, and the smell was unbearable.
Right.
He just
Yeah.
shit on his jeans.
Of course he did. Of course he
Disgusting.
did. Of course he did. And now what? God, that wasp bite.
Yeah,
bite, first of
it
all.
smells like shit
Wasps
for some
don't
reason.
bite.
I don't know. Maybe my body lets out a chemical that smells like shit when I get bit by wasps. Like, what are you gonna say? Like, it's over.
Bro,
it's over.
The ruse is
The jig is up.
You cannot continue it. You
No.
gotta own it. You gotta look her in the eyes and be like, honey, I shit myself.
Oops, I crapped my pants.
As I sat in horror, my date burst into fits of laughter and jumped out of the car. But her laughter was short-lived. As she made her way round the back of the car to come to my aid, she stepped right in the middle of it.
No.
So she was ready to be a good sport about it. She was just like, look, like
Listen,
shit
until my shoe
happens
got in it.
literally, right? But then she stepped in it, and he says, the last line is, "We never saw each other again." She was like, I was
don't say.
ready to be a good sport about this, but now I've stepped in shit.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Oh no.
That's
My shoes are ruined.
things to work on for 2023. Not you got to be upfront. The body does really fucking weird things. It's going to do embarrassing things to you at inopportune times.
Yeah.
It just
I
made
told
me
you
laugh.
guys. Did I ever tell you guys the story about how Chris and I, this is when we lived in Columbus, and we went to visit a friend of ours who was in town from LA, and we went to this restaurant, kind of a cute little restaurant, and I got grits and like something like fish and grits or something like that, and it was really delicious, and I didn't think to ask them if it was cream based.
Yeah.
And all was well until we were on the back road going through on my way to our small town house in the middle, we're in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking shit my pants. Chris is like so mad. He's like, oh my God. He's like, why didn't you ask? And then he was like, do you want me to stop? What do you want me to do? And I'm like, no, just go fast. And then I was like, oh God, I gotta go. And he's like, do you want me to stop? And he's like slowing down. I'm like, go.
Yeah.
The way that we almost got the fight that we almost had about me.
Like
needing
having
to get
to
to a
shit.
bathroom.
It's not your fault. Like,
I know.
Look,
But
like,
I should have asked, and I don't know why I didn't think about it.
But you know what?
But it was just like that.
that's something that could happen to anyone, even if it's something you've had before. Like, sometimes emergencies happen. Like, and you're
Woof.
like, oh my God. Like, I understand.
I did make it
completely.
home, by the way.
Oh, good. But
Thank God.
him being like, don't come out here, there's wasps. It's just a funny, like, it's just, don't come out here.
wasps.
There's wasps.
They're everywhere.
Wasps everywhere.
And it's like, then
Save
why
yourself.
are you out there? Like, like what? You're taking care of your wasp bite, and you're like, don't come
Tommy
out
Boy.
here, there's wasps.
I think it's the one thing that I might be not the most proud of myself for, but like as an adult and like as far back as I can remember, I've never shit my pants.
I haven't
Thank you.
either.
Same.
I have not
Yeah.
either. Knock
I
on wood.
feel really good about it. There's still a lot of life left for me to live, a lot of opportunities, but like
Plenty of opportunities,
I
but
feel pretty proud of
Me
myself.
too.
for that.
And listen, there
Same.
have been some close calls. As
There have.
Cassie just demonstrated, but it's never happened. I've always been able to keep my shit together, literally. Until I've gotten to an appropriate place.
to let it loose.
I have peed my pants. I have peed myself as an adult.
I haven't peed myself.
Usually it's because I was laughing too hard or coughing. That's a good one because I've had children now. So after you've given birth, apparently those facilities aren't as good as they used to be. I definitely have coughed and if I get sick, which is why I fucking hate getting sick.
When you throw
My
up,
body, my
Yeah.
body is like a lurch. And it like just like it seizes the whole insides of me. And yeah, definitely.
I've
It's
thrown
awful.
up many places. Like throwing up is like,
But have you peed while you were throwing up?
I have not. No. No,
Not to
I have
brag,
not.
but this is an awful episode already.
It's fine. The people know us by this point. They get
I
it.
hope so.
Truly.
Hopefully this isn't your first episode.
Yeah. They're like, 2023, my New Year's resolution is to listen to My Worst Date. And then they're like, oh, no.
No, starting now.
Shit and cum on the face. No, thank you. Things to work on for 2023. Oh, well, you guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Oh, and we're back. Hi, everybody. I got your Tainted Love to this week.
To this
Blah, blah,
day.
blah. this day. This fine first day of the new year. I don't know what's
Anyway.
All right. So let me tell you a little story. I found a lot of this new on a couple actual episodes. One was Killer Couples. One was they had the same story on a CNN show called Sex and Murder. And then, of course, numerous articles, which, again, will all be in our show notes. This story starts out Sunday evening on May 16th, 2010. In Newport Richey, Florida, Vincent Rella arrives at his cousin, tattoo artist and repo man Dennis Abrahamson, also known as Scooter. He had not been answering his phone, and this is not very common for Dennis. Or Scooter. He's, somebody that you can get a hold of. He's pretty reliable. Never does he not answer the phone, especially when his cousin Vincent calls him. So he goes, gets the house, is kind of looking around. He's peeking through the windows, not seeing anything. He goes around to the back and he notices that his hot tub is like heated and on, not like bubbling on, but like heated, which is not usual. And then the cover is off. So he's like, it's really weird. So he goes and he looks in the back door and he sees, it looks like Scooter's sleeping on he has a massage table in his living room and it looks like he's sleeping on it. And then he goes in and he realizes dude's not sleeping. Mm-hmm. There's blood everywhere. And so he calls 911 right away. And he's like, my cousin's been murdered. I'm at his house. Please send help. The police show up, detectives arrive, and they, they're searching around. They're like, this guy, one of the detectives was like, this is 10,000 cases. He said, he's like, this is one of the most brutal crime scenes he's ever seen.
Oh my
and in
God.
this area specifically, they don't really have this, in this kind of neighborhood or whatever. It's not common to have this kind of crime, and especially something this like awful. Like this was, they had found that he'd been bludgeoned in the back of the head and they'd had multiple stab wounds. Oof. And so they were like, this is an insane scene. So they're looking around, and in a hamper nearby, there's this kind of small blue hamper. They find a small bloody sledgehammer and 2 knives. So the murder weapons are like right there near the body.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just like, what is going on? This is so bizarre. So they're like, also, right away they noticed that he has cash, about $6,000 cash missing. A Best Buy credit card had been stolen. He had a digital camera as well as a digital video camera, some pills and computers. So things were missing. Like there was a lot of his stuff missing. So they're like, well, it could be a burglar. It could be, numerous things, and Vincent was like, he's a tattoo artist, which is fine, but it's the repo man job that does tend to cause people to have enemies, and, so he's like, maybe it was one of his repo jobs led to this, nobody really knows. And hasn't been dating anybody. And the neighbors all said that it was very common that he was known to have dancers, masseuses, sex workers over on occasion. And some of these people he'd end up meeting on Craigslist. So, he did have a bit of riffraff in and out of his house or whatever, but
yeah, Craigslist is a bit of a
that's exactly right.
toss up in terms of meeting
as far
people.
As sex workers, right?
Right. Yeah, but it's just like you don't know what you're getting on Craigslist. That's always kind of the thing. It's like meeting people on Craigslist, regardless of what it's for. If you're meeting somebody on Craigslist to buy a nightstand, it's like it could be a creep. Like you don't know.
100. Oh my gosh.
Craigslist is it is a cesspool. And so, but the neighbors, honestly, the fact that the way they said the neighbors were just kind of used to him having, people over all the time, they seemed unplussed about it. It just kind of
unbothered.
That's Dennis, that's Scooter, that's who he is. He just,
that's our man.
He'll have people over and he'll party. He's a big partier, loves to party. A couple that he had been with that night actually had reached out to the police and were like, hey, we actually were with scooter that evening. We were there partying with him. You know, had been at the strip club, the Brass Flamingo, that evening. We'd been, you know, hanging out, he and this couple, and they were like, why don't we go back to your place? And they were like, that's very usual to, you know, extend the party back to his place.
Yeah. Sex
parties were just kind of a common thing. So he reached out to this person that he'd been kind of talking to through Craigslist, and they did. They headed back to his place, and they were going to meet up with this girl. This girl wasn't just anybody, though. She was an adult film star named Sunny Dae. So they were really stoked to get back to the house and hang out with this adult film star because, you know, they'd all had these sex parties before, but this was kind of seemed like a little bit of a special occasion.
Yeah, you got a special guest star.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Sunny Dae.
So they 7-Eleven records them, you know, as the couple had said. They'd stopped at the 7-Eleven around 2 a.m. grabbing some, you know, beer and smokes, and saw the three of them heading out on their motorcycles back toward his house. So everything kind of lined up with what they were talking about. The couple admits that, you know, during the sex party, they were in the hot tub. They all seemed to be having a good time, but it did seem weird because the whole time she seemed to be a little preoccupied with her BlackBerry, and she'd been kind of texting like throughout the whole thing, which not good etiquette for a sex party.
No.
I'm certain.
No, especially when you're the guest of honor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, you're like the big attraction of the night, and you're like just, you know, over texting on your BlackBerry. And but they said eventually it started to wind down, and they ended up leaving around 5:30 a.m. And Sunny had said, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and give him a massage, and, you know, see you guys later, kind of basically, right? And that was the last they saw of him. So now police are kind of, you know, concerned because they're like, who is this Sunny Dae? Well, let me tell you a little bit.
So they put her name into the computer. Do some research.
Hey, it's research, guys. It's research. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
So Sunny Dae was born Amanda, and she was from Leesburg, Virginia. She had gotten pregnant in high school and had dropped out not long after finding out she was pregnant and having her baby. So she didn't finish high school. And then not long after that, by the age of 19, her mom had died. So it was like, boom, boom, boom. Like bummer after fucking bummer. Like just things weren't going her way. And so she got caught up in drugs to escape and got tied up with this abusive boyfriend for a while. And really everything was just on a downhill slope for her. It's then that a local cop kind of took interest in her, and after filing multiple police reports was like, you know, sat down with her and was like, look, you could do so much better than this guy. You know, this guy is trapping you in a shit situation, and you can do better than that. And, you know, she did. She ended up dating that cop, and they ended up a year later marrying that cop. His name was Amanda Logue. Amanda Logue was, like I said, worked for a local police department. She they met, and she was like changed her life. She's like, she's got a daughter, you know, he's taking care of them, but also too, she starts to get a job. She gets a job at a local dealership. She's making her own money. They have a family now, and they're really, you know, in love and very happy, you know, little family doing their little family things, going to church and being happy and whatnot. But Lamont asks her, he's like, what was your dream job growing up? You know, like one of those conversations you have with your partner sometimes, like, if you had a dream, what was your job? Like, where would you be? What would you be doing? And she was like, I would have loved to be a model. And he was like, you know what? Let's do a photo shoot. It'll be fun. You know, I'll pay for you to get a photo shoot, you know, and, you know, if something happens, it happens. And if not, no big deal. And Amanda Logue, she did. She was like, it turned out that the camera really loved her, and she took some fun shots, ended up on a couple like, you know, flyers and things like that. And she was starting to make some decent cash, and, you know, was doing these odd jobs here and there. And her modeling like kind of took over, almost became like a career, because she ended up making more money than she was making at her like quote day job at the dealership. So she was booking a lot more gigs. And so she was able to quit her job at the dealership and just make money doing these modeling gigs, locally. And, after a little bit, she did start doing like a few more risque type shoots and, like some bondage shots and, stuff that just, girl, secure your bag, get that money.
Yeah.
And, that was working out really well for them. But around a year later, Lamont is injured pretty badly in a car accident, and that takes him off the job. So they start to have some money troubles, and he's not able to, really contribute that much because he's not being paid because he's not able to work, but he's also not quite getting disability yet because this all just happened. And she's like, you know what? Not a big deal. Somebody asked me, they'd seen my picture and they wanted to know if I'd be interested in doing some film. And I don't mind that, if it's going to be money, who cares?
Right.
I'm in love with you. This is not a thing. It's just a job. It's just to make some cash. Right. And so she does. She takes this kind of modeling career and turns it into an acting career as an adult film star. And she's making money hand over fist, as it were. She's like, I started out with woman on woman, but then when I started doing women on men, like I was making a lot more money. So she was like just raking in the cash, and she was really supporting the family with this job. So, and honestly, for the most part, it seems like Lamont didn't really seem to be upset about it. Like he didn't love it, but he mostly just didn't love it because he felt like bad that she had to do it at all. Like he wasn't contributing on his side.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about like the sex work problem for him. It was more of a like, I'm not contributing as much as I would like to in this relationship.
Yeah.
Which is really a healthy attitude toward it. If you're happy, if you're okay with your person and you have an open relationship in that way, then
Yeah.
good for you. One of the jobs that she took was a week-long shoot in New York. And this is where she met a co-star named Addison. His real name was Jason Andrews. She said this was the first time, and she'd done multiple adult films, but she's like, this is the time though, like there was chemistry. And she was like, it was so palpable. Like everybody in the room was like, we need to make a special scene with you guys. Like literally they were sharing like this, they even shared a bedroom the whole week. And like, it turned into kind of like a week-long affair.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah. And she was really into him. Like I said, they had this instant chemistry, and it was just sexual chemistry. They were super passionate and just instantly clicked. And one of the things that she was really enamored with was his British accent. And I'm like, girl,
well,
Same.
yeah, we can relate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Relatable content. I'm like, say no more. Should have led with that. But Jason Andrews told Amanda that he was living in Chicago at the time, but he was born in Britain, had lived in Israel, and he'd also made a name for himself as a DJ. So he had a pretty popular DJ account that people followed. I mean, he was doing okay on Twitter and things like that. So again, assume he's a DJ with a British accent. I'm certain he's doing just fine.
Yeah.
Just fine.
Yeah, DJs also like club promoters.
Also a red flag.
We're suspicious.
Yeah.
Just go in with caution. You know what I mean?
But I mean, it's not like they met in the most. They met in a way that was like very unique, right? It's not like they met at a club, and the chemistry that they have, that's something that was instant. And they soon kind of started, like I said, this off-screen affair that week. But after they came home, they did continue to stay in contact, but it was mostly, digital contact. She lived in Leesburg and he lived all the way in Chicago. So they just kind of stayed in contact on, computer, email, texting. This is like the early mid 2000s. So,
I figured because she had a BlackBerry, so I was like, this this was a while ago.
The BlackBerry nostalgia. I was like, oh,
what
man,
an
I remember
era!
My BlackBerry. Oh, I loved my
the
BlackBerry.
The Sidekick, the Razor, like those were the big three. I feel like
it was the big three. You nailed them. I had all of them for sure. Anyway, so they then get cast together again, and for another filming, and her husband does start to become suspicious. Lamont had also started to finally get his disability checks and was like, hey, Amanda, there's no reason for you to continue.
Do this anymore.
You don't have to do
right.
if you don't want to, because she had recently also said to him, like, you know what? I don't really love doing this anymore. And he was like, as soon as I can start making money, then you can get out. Right.
Yeah.
if you don't want to do it, quit today and go wait tables. You know what I mean?
That's kind of how I feel too. I'm just like, I understand the fear. You have a family and like the fear around losing that income. But that's exactly right. Like, if you don't want to do this anymore, we'll figure it out. Like, you can just stop right now. Like, you don't need to be like, oh, well, let me get my ducks in a row first. It's like, just quit. You're
not checking in to, the shitty office job and just clicking off some keys every day. This is like that. The sex work takes a large toll on your body.
Yeah.
It takes a large toll on your, it's hard work. Yeah. And, if you're done, you're done.
As a spouse, it's one thing, like, that your partner has like a work wife or a work husband or whatever. Not every job means they're going to be fucking.
Right. That's right. That is true. They better not be.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's gotta be hard when you're like, because we're all going to get along with people in a different way. And you do have like chemistry or camaraderie with different people, but not every job gives you the opportunity where you get to
be fucking them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would be a little bit jealous. I'll just say that.
Yeah. I think it'd be hard not to be. It was honestly, though, at this point, it was just too late. She'd already fallen for Jason and she was ready she's like, I want to start a new life with this guy. One day, Lamont came home and found Jason was helping Amanda pack all of her belongings and move out of the house.
Here's the thing. I have a real issue with that, like with stuff like that, because I do think like, you have one life. If you want to make a change in your life, then make a change in your life. Like I'm not going to sit here in judgment of somebody wanting to choose a different path or make a change, but you don't have to, you can minimize the damage you're doing to other people in the process. And inviting the person that you're leaving your husband for into your home to help you pack up your stuff so that he can come home and find, like, that's how he finds out. That's just, it's so careless with someone else's like feelings and stuff.
Yeah. Lamont agrees with you. He was very upset. It led to a huge disagreement and an aggressive argument in their front lawn in which Lamont draws a gun on Jason. And so Lamont's friend who was with him calls the police and is like, hey, this guy, the police come. Jason is arrested, which is fucking
That's
wild
strange.
because he's not the one who had the gun.
What state are they in?
But it's not,
because it's in his house. But I mean, he was invited in by somebody who lives in that house. So yeah, I don't know.
Also, too, Lamont was an ex-cop, so I'm pretty certain that there's some favoritism happening on this.
I see. Yeah.
That didn't stop Amanda though. So Jason, he was arrested. He ended up being banned from the county. Amanda was like, I don't give a shit. I'm still leaving with him.
From the county? He got banned from the county.
He didn't do anything wrong from what it sounds like, except for help this chick
fuck
move.
A cop's wife.
Yeah, like inconsiderate, certainly, but not. Sure, it's not criminal. Are you kidding me?
Thank you. Yeah. Nothing. I was like, wow, that sounds like a cop was involved. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, that didn't stop Amanda. She was like determined to be with him. And so she grabbed her daughter and dropped her off with her dad and left for Florida to be with Jason.
That sucks too, because if they've been together for a while and Lamont was being like a stepdad to her daughter, This is sucky.
It's unkind because again, like life is complicated. I'm not going to pass judgment on whether or not someone has to stay in a marriage or in a relationship or in any situation, but like the way that just sounds like she didn't go about it in a way that was very considerate.
Definitely not. Amanda and Jason end up in Tampa, and this is where that's where they land, and they start making money doing movies together at a studio there in Tampa. Amanda also starts to make some additional money by doing side gigs like exotic massages or erotic massages. The great chemistry and passion, but drug-fueled conversations led to discussions from Jason, who revealed that he was interested in harming others. Amanda, from her conversations from her interview said basically she thought this was kind of like, oh, when they'd done fetish before and kind of like just dirty talk. But on May 18th, their fun had run out, though the two had been picked up and arrested for shoplifting. So they were out. This is May 18th. They've been shoplifting. Detectives working the case for the Dennis Abrahamson murder had linked the number that was contacting Dennis Abrahamson that night to Jason Andrews. So they quickly were already kind of linking these two, this couple to this murder. The fact that they were in a different county, this is in Pinellas County, when the kind of radar went out, they're looking for this Jason Andrews guy. Pinellas County called them and were like, hey, I have these two people in jail. This is who you're looking for. So they run out to the county jail. They're talking to them. Amanda immediately, she admits that she was there. She is Sunny Dae. She was at Abrahamson's house that evening. She was there for the sex party. She said she gave him a massage and that he fell asleep and she left just before dawn. Jason tells investigators that he was born in Germany, but he has a British accent. But the police know right away from his background check that he was born in fucking Kansas. He's a U.S. citizen and had been served in the fucking Marines.
Cassie, he was faking a British accent this whole time. That is a level of confidence. The big balls on him. Like the amount of confidence it has to take to maintain a British accent. Wow.
So he'd been fucking lying. First of all, he'd been lying to Amanda. He'd been lying to everybody, but he'd been lying to Amanda about being whoever he was. Everything he told her was like a fucking lie.
Oh, no.
Otherwise, and he's like trying to tell the cops, oh, yes, I'm Jason. I was born in Germany, but I have a British accent.
Top of the morning to you. Cheers, governor.
What if that's what British. He sounded like? In it.
I hope it was. In it. Oh, no. What they're like, dude, you're from Kansas. We looked at you. We did a background check.
It's not that hard to figure out. We're the police.
Yeah. You were in the Marines, you fucking moron.
You idiot.
And you're using your fucking name, you numbskull.
God, why are criminals so stupid?
So stupid. Otherwise, though, as far as the interview goes, his story was the same as hers. And he was like, yeah, she was there. She gave him a massage and she said that he fell asleep and they left. They both denied any connection and were released on bail because there was no real connection at this point. They hadn't gotten much, from the crime scene finalized yet. So they're just like, kind of all shoulders at this point. They really can't arrest them because they don't have anything to truly hold them on. So both denied, like I said, any connection. But they did take the couple's Explorer that they had to be searched. And in the Explorer, they found their Blackberries. And the SIM cards had been removed as well as the batteries. And at this point they were like, well, maybe there's a little hope that once we get these back up and running, that maybe there's, some retrievable evidence on these phones.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, these two people are not smart enough to get away with this crime. Right. You can tell just looking at it immediately. You're like,
they left the hamper with all the fucking murder weapons in it.
Well, and also I'm pretty sure if they had pursued a search warrant for the place that they were staying, they would have found the missing stuff from Dude Face's house.
I mean, truly that. And to that point, they, while they're still gathering evidence, they do want to speak and want to interview Amanda again. And they tracked down the hotel that they had listed as their address, and they had just left. Just checked out, guys. So sorry, you just missed him. Mm-hmm. But not only just that, Amanda had contacted her husband, Lamont, and said that she'd made a horrible mistake. And she wants to come home.
I bet she did. She's like, actually.
And guess what Lamont said?
Nah.
Go fuck yourself.
He's like, I'll be right there, and drove 5 hours down to pick her up. Yep. Got that magic pussy, I guess. He drove 5 hours to pick her up and then bring her home.
Love is a hell of a drug. I mean, I feel like we haven't said it frequently enough during this Tainted Love segment. I know that's kind of the theme of Tainted Love, but that's the truth of it is like love is a like mysterious and powerful force because because that's what people do that. Like people can hurt you really badly, but if you love them enough, it doesn't matter. Like
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. There's so much forgivable that you do, forgiving, and he can be better.
It's fine. I love them.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
I remember those days.
Yeah.
Yeah. At home, she confessed to him that she had witnessed a murder. And investigators from Florida did arrive eventually and asked to speak to Amanda. And Lamont convinced her to tell them what had happened. What happened, she said, was she told them that Jason, during their short relationship, had been abusive and had forced her to do things that she didn't want to do, but the murder was a wake-up call. She had said that the whole time Jason had been waiting for her in his car out front during the massage, he came in with a sledgehammer and started bashing him in the head. She said that there was nothing he could do or she could do, and he had grabbed the knives from the kitchen afterwards and started stabbing him and threatened to do the same to her if she'd ever told. She said that she was so desperate to get away that she deliberately and blatantly shoplifted so that they would get arrested so that she could get away from him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it's funny because in the video that they show of her, like it does look like she's blatantly kind of like, hi, look at these things that I'm taking, these pair of shorts. I'm going to put them like here in my hand and put them in this bag. So there is a little bit that kind of you're like, okay, well, maybe that did happen.
Right.
So, however, in the meantime, they're on their way back again. They're heading back to Florida because they're like, that's interesting. You know, so that's an interesting side of the story. Let's find out what Jason has to say. But they're not far away when they get a call that the phones that they had found in the car had all the messages between Jason and Amanda. And there was no longer any doubt that she was just as much involved as Jason. Some of the actual text messages that they showed, it's like her while she's, in the sex party, basically banging this guy and, whatever, fucking around with these people. She's texting him like, I can't wait for you to do this. It's so dangerous, basically. And she's like, I can't wait to fuck you when we're done with this. And once we kill him, like it's
why do
awful.
people put this shit into text message?
I'll never know.
Like,
yeah.
Don't write it down.
Don't leave a paper trail.
Honestly.
I mean, or do, because I'm glad that you're getting caught.
Well, exactly.
But, but what are you doing? We all know that. Like, that's like business 101. If somebody is like, I'm going to call you if like they're trying to get away with something and they're like, I'll call you on the phone. You're like, no, you can send me an email because you need a paper trail. Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And or if they don't, you're like, just to follow up.
Yeah,
email.
Exactly. You always
per our phone call. Put it in writing. So when they get back to Florida, though, they are like, we need to find Jason. They got a tip that he was in Fort Lauderdale, like was staying with people he knew from the industry. So they get to Fort Lauderdale and they had just missed him. So a manhunt ensues. They put out all points bulletin, right? And after, not long after that, they get a call from a woman in Chattanooga who had contacted the police because she had Googled her new boyfriend and found that he was wanted for murder.
Oh, chills.
Ugh. Within hours, he was in custody. She called and she was like, hi, so it turns out I'm dating this motherfucker. Creep. And
he keeps talking to me in a fake British accent.
Yeah. It keeps slipping. It's so really weird.
But yeah, within hours he was in custody because she gave them all the dirt. They were like, he works here this time, you can get him this time, and they did. They got him right away.
Nice.
As soon as they got him into the custody, they interviewed him and he confessed immediately. He confessed that he went in. He confessed that he swung the hammer 12 times and then went back at Scooter with the knife. He took the blame for everything and said what he had done, and he was the one who'd committed the crime. He said Amanda had set the whole thing up beforehand because she had known him and knowing that he had a whole stash of shit that they wanted to get their hands on. But he really believed in the end that it was more about the thrill of the murder. He said that he said that when he was in there, he was like, I told her I was going to do this. He was like, my second guessing myself. He's like, but I told her that I would do this and I can't be a pussy. So I have to follow through. And I'm just like, you can be a pussy.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Fine
can
to be a pussy.
You can back out. Never understand the desire for people to hurt each other like that. Like, the appeal of it is I don't get that at all. Like, that this is something that someone could actually like want to do or find thrilling or whatever is to me just so foreign.
You're taking a person's life.
I couldn't, I mean, the only way I could ever take a person's life is if it was like an extreme situation, right? Like if like your life is being threatened or your loved one's life is being threatened, like something like that. And even then, you think I'm not going to spend the rest of my life like dealing with the trauma of that? Like the idea, and we talk about it on this podcast often because it happens often, like where people hurt each other on purpose just because they want to is so like,
I know all three of us have like really strong people pleaser tendencies. So like even the idea of hurting someone's feelings is sometimes too much for us.
That stuff keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I accidentally stepped on Matilda's leg the other day, and the way I was like repenting for it for the next like 12 hours. I was just like, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? And like that obviously wasn't even on purpose. Are you kidding me?
And she's like,
I'll consider forgiving you, maybe.
Yeah. He said, though, to the police as well, he was like, she had enjoyed the murder and had indeed gone back to their hotel room that night and had sex. And that she had been texting him the whole time while she was sleeping with the victim. Jason pled guilty to the crime and is serving life without parole. Amanda also pled guilty, but to second-degree murder because technically she didn't necessarily have her hands in it. Feels questionable, but she did receive 40 years. Lamont, for his part, is going to stand by his woman and is going to wait until she gets released because he is in love with his wife and is standing by her side. And that is the fucking awful story of the murder of Dennis Abrahamson.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Scooter.
Wow, Cass, that's one I hadn't heard.
Yeah, me either.
Wild,
I
right?
always think murders by bludgeoning are some of just the worst. I'm just like I mean, what we just talked about, like I can't see myself killing anyone at all, but the idea of like a hammer, that's horrible, horrifying.
Truly. And for no reason, like none at all. Like a lot of our tainted loves, there's like,
for a thrill.
You know, like a jealousy component or a monetary component. But
power,
this was just,
this was a thrill kill.
This was
100% a thrill kill, which also just the police were like, honestly, like Jason was so unremorseful about the thing. It just kind of like, almost just kind of like, yeah, that's what happened. And kind of just told the story as like, yep, this is like ABC, what happened. Like, it just felt like this is a dangerous, dangerous human being. You know what I mean? Like, this is, yeah.
Awful. Wow.
Well, what are you guys watching this week?
I have been rewatching The X-Files.
Wow.
From the beginning. I started The X-Files over from the beginning. It's been a long time. I actually don't think I've ever seen every single episode.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time since I've even watched The X-Files at all. And I love it. Like, listen, it's so fun. Like in that first episode where Scully and Mulder meet for the first time. It's so great. Like, I'm just really enjoying it. And yeah, it was back in the olden days of television whenever like you would have 23 episodes a season. So some episodes are stronger than other episodes, but there are some that are just like iconic X-Files episodes that I've just really been enjoying. And Gillian Anderson is just, I love her so much.
I love her. She's like my number one, in my top 5 crushes.
Yeah, she's, phenomenal.
She's gotten hotter with age too.
Oh yeah, I mean,
100.
fine wine.
Has always been beautiful. Like in the X-Files, she's beautiful, but something about her, that hardening that happens to faces as they age, really worked in her favor. Like she looks so, like, I love the way her face looks now, how it's aged. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I finished the second set of Harry and Meghan episodes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I am firmly team Harry and team Meghan.
Oh,
yeah,
very
course,
much.
yeah.
And I felt like there was a lot that I kind of identified with her in terms of what she said about being biracial and her own experience with race. I felt that there's not a lot of media out there that talks about that. And so I thought that was really interesting. And I have a huge crush on Harry now in my head. Of course. I am convinced that somehow if I had met him first, that it would have been me and him. But,
C'est la vie, I suppose.
I know. I guess. It's fine. He's a Virgo with Capricorn rising. And I was like,
ooh, all that earth.
A lot of earth vibes. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you verify his rising?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
you're like, I sure did.
She's like, no, of course I already. I double, triple checked. Yeah. That's so funny because I actually love Virgos. Virgos are a good fucking time.
Oh, I fucking love Virgos, and they get a lot of shit. I feel like Virgos get shit all the time, but like I think that they're so much, like I need Virgos in my life to keep my life running smoothly. Yeah. They're very like on top of their shit.
I just feel like we would be like a true power couple.
Oh, absolute power couple. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Yeah. You guys would you'd be kick them out of the castle. Yes. You guys would have been, you're like, oh, I'm sorry. So
it would have been some Game of Thrones shit. Honestly.
That's hilarious. I watched something that Christina specifically, I think you need to watch if you have not yet.
Okay.
And that is Call Me Cleo.
Oh my God. I want to watch that.
I'm excited to watch that.
So bad.
I used to want to call Miss Cleo so
the way.
You never
bad.
did? I called her once.
Did. Stop it.
I did. No, I mean, it was not exciting because like you had to be over 18 to call. And I was not.
Right.
Like I was like a legit child. And I tried to do that thing where I'm like, they're like, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 18. And they're like, you are not 18.
Honey.
Because I was like,
money.
8,
Get off the phone before you get in trouble.
Yeah, I had not gone through puberty yet at all. And they were like, we do not believe you. Get off the phone.
The way they had so many callers like that, I am certain. But it was, first of all, a documentary. It's about something like we are so, call me now, that kind of, and the patois that she puts on. It covers everything. It's fascinating. And
I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
It is
I can't
on
wait
my
to talk
watch
to you about
list.
it.
I want to watch it too.
I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. It is very, very interesting.
Oh, good. Oh, well, if you guys have something that we should watch, or if you got terrible date stories you want to share with us, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. And we love you so much.
Cheers.